had one really close friend that said to me, "I'll give you 90 days, Barry. You're going to fall on your face." I said, "You know, if it kills me, it'll go 91 days. You're not going to be right." I am a very bad loser.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "You're not going to be right." And, you know, they were wrong. It's now 26 years old. Last year we celebrated our 25th anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you. And it was a great year. And, you know, it's worldwide now. It has, you know, I don't know, 50 chapters around the world. And we were there, you know, shortly after the UK. And it's been an amazing journey with this MMF. And I'll tell you, when I look back in my career, the music, we changed the name to the Music Managers Forum along the way, because it was originally the IMF, the International Managers Forum, and everybody thought we were the International Monetary Fund, and we were getting calls for the IMF, you know, and so that had to change. But, you know, I put together a little board of people. We had a board, we had some members, and we started out to build this thing. And when I look back now in my career, it's probably, you know, the best thing I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I met, you know, Kevin Leffler, the head of Official Community, who I had a 14-year, you know, consultancy with. I met so many other wonderful people through the MMF. It's been fantastic. It's you know, I can't describe how great charity work is.
Yeah.
And I never got paid a nickel to do this. And I've put thousands of hours in, and I loved every minute of it. It's been great. And early on, the first thing we tackled was there was a big dispute between Sony in Canada and HMV, which was the largest record store chain in the country there. And HMV wanted to, you know, get deeper discounts and more free goods out of Sony. And they figured if they can break Sony down, they'll get, you know, Universal and EMI and everybody else, all the other majors at the time. I think there was 5 or 6 majors at the time. Now we have 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out a memo, and the memo was a 4-page memo called "Say Baloney to Sony." And I was fortunate enough to get a copy of this, and I did not like what I saw because it didn't help artists. And I felt if you want to have a dispute, an industry dispute with the label, have an industry dispute. But ultimately, it's hurting the acts. Mm. And I've always been on one side of the business, and that's the creative side. And I've always been there to protect creators and people that make the music.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we would want to kill the geese that lay the golden eggs.
Right.
If it weren't for the talent, none of us could earn a living in this industry. Yet, you know, this industry continually attacks. So we had this big issue with HMV, with Sony, when they came with that memo, "Say Baloney to Sony," because they wanted to hold Sony up for deeper discounts and more free goods.
Yeah.
And the way, and I was very disturbed by this whole thing, because at the end of the day, the labels weren't going to give them anything. It was going to come out of the pocket of the artists. And ultimately, the managers would make less. And I was never put up with that. So we sent a letter to, you know, HMV, asking them, you know, what's going on here? How is this affecting artists? Because they were doing things that were just absolutely amazing. They took all Sony product out of the windows. They took them off the listening posts. They took the videos off the video posts. They didn't order any new acts, and they put the hits in the back of the store.
Oh, wow.
This was really, they were really trying to hurt Sony.
Yeah.
But they were hurting me personally at the time, because I had my act Kevin Jordan on Sony. And we were one of those blessed acts to be in the window.
Yeah. And
all over the place. And now we weren't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't too happy. Well,
and this was going on for how long?
Oh, this went on for, you know, a couple of months. So we put Sony on notice, we put HMV on notice, in writing as the managers for him. And, Paul Alofs, the then president of HMV, came back with a cryptic response, which was unacceptable. And I'll never forget, I called him up and I said to him, tell me, how is this benefiting artists, what you're trying to do here? I don't care if you have a problem with Sony and you want to have a personal industry dispute with them, but not where it's going to hurt us and hurt artists. I said, that doesn't work. So he said to me something like, I'm a bad guy. I said, well, I'm looking for the good guy in you. I'm looking for the good guy because I believe he's somewheres within. He said, no, I'm a bad guy.
Wow.
So I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what. If you don't straighten this thing out, I'm going to give you till a week from Friday to straighten this out. And he said, what? Is that a threat? I said, no, I'm not threatening you. I'm promising you. I said, I don't threaten people. I promise them.
It's different.
I said, if you don't straighten it out a week from this coming Friday, I'll straighten it out. So he said, oh, really? Really? Huh? I said, yes, you will see. We will straighten this out. And all of these stores, throughout Canada and throughout America and everywhere, basically, they all want to be artist friendly. Because they all have young people that were working in them, young people, and young people are all, supportive of the acts. So I stayed on top of this for the next week and sent him a couple more letters and got crazy responses that didn't make any sense. And I called him up on the following Wednesday or Thursday, and he wouldn't talk to me. The secretary said he has nothing to say to you anymore. I said, well, I'll call him on Friday. And I called him on Friday. She said, he's got nothing to say to you. I said, well, if we don't get this thing resolved, and I have to know by 3 o'clock today, it will be resolved, and he will want to call me and speak to me tonight, and my phone lines will be open waiting for his call.
Yeah.
She said, really? I said, yeah. Tell him I'll be waiting for his call this evening, because I know he's going to want to call me. So she said, okay. Well, the windup was, I never heard back from him. He showed no interest in resolving this. At 6 p.m., a camera crew from City TV and walked into the main store, HMV, on Young Street, and showed everybody, had the memo in their hands, the Say Baloney to Sony memo, and showed the whole world what was going on. And then this made national news, and it was in the newspapers the following day. That night he called. He called, and so did Sony.